So welcome everybody. I'm 100 Visions guy, and what I'm going to do in this series of tutorials is we're going to look under the hood of a WordPress site, and we're using WordPress 4.0. And so my goal here is for my students to know all the features that are built into WordPress, so that you would know how to do things to customize the site. We're not going to look at things like theming. We're not going to look at actually creating our own plugins and themes and things like that. That will be for a later tutorial. But I just want you to know where everything is and how you can work and some of the neat features that are built into WordPress. So the first thing we're going to do is we got to be logged in. I'm already logged in here. And so if you click on here, the first thing, I didn't click, I hovered. If you know you're logged in, because it'll say howdy and your username. And then you can log out. So we'll look at the difference between the site when we're logged in and when we're logged out. And so here we go. So here I'm not logged in. You notice there's no admin bar across the top, and it's technically called the admin bar. Okay, to log in, there should be a login widget somewhere. And sure enough, there it is down there. I'll be honest though, I've actually removed that from sites. If I don't want people to accidentally click it and somehow find something, sometimes I just remove it and you can't get to it. But there's always a way in. There's this little slash here, WP admin, WP slash add or dash admin. And you hit that and it will take you to the login screen. Yeah. And of course, if you lose your password, you're good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to, I don't know how many of these we get to on each video. We'll try to hit most of them. We're going to start looking at the dashboard. Let me also show you a neat little feature about the dashboard. One of those lovable things about WordPress is that the admin bar has a toggle. This is a toggle. If you click it once, you're on the site. I have to hit refresh. There. If I hit it again, I'm in the dashboard. Site, dashboard. Other thing is, when you're on the site, but you're logged in, hover, and you'll see certain primary features of a WordPress site. Obviously, the dashboard, that's under the hood. But if you want to work with themes, go to themes. If you want to do some customization of your site, click on Customize. You want to add a widget. Now, widgets could be things like search engines, Twitter feeds, other types of logins, e-commerce related stuff. Any kind of widget, doohickey, thingamabob you might want to put on your site, you might use the widget to do that. We also can deal with menus, our background, and we can deal with the header. So these are all the primary kinds of features, and I think it's a good idea to go through it that way. But one of the things I'm going to start with is talk about kind of the core of WordPress. WordPress was originally designed to be what's called a blogging software, and I have to say what's called a blogging software because it's just not as popular as it used to be. The whole idea of a blog is you got many articles, and they're always being updated. And usually the blog puts the most recent update at the top and the oldest ones at the bottom. And once you have so many blog posts, usually they go into the archive and they're organized by date and year and things like that. So we scroll down here, we have archives for November, October, September. If we had more and this had been around for longer, we would have possibly by year. And so it just depends on how you want to do it. Okay, so that's the blogging idea. And in a blog, you have a thing called a post. So each one of these little items here on the right is called a post. You will see it says recent posts. So we have my 2-column HTML5 layout, ideas about my independent project, hello world. Let's go to one of my other WordPress sites for the other class. I'm going to go back to the main site here. You will notice, oh, that's the dashboard. You will notice that you have a little menu here. I'll show you how to do that in a little bit. And then you'll see recent posts also in order of when it was posted. Okay, so those are the recent posts that we've done. Now each post can fit, you can fit multiple posts on a page. Notice it tells you the date, and all that kind of information. At the bottom, we have another one in the image gallery. You go a little bit down here and you can see some information about it. And as you can see, it just kind of loads them up one at a time, going from top to bottom. So that's the general idea of a post. However, you can also have pages. And so let me give you an example of a page. So to show you pages, I've gone over to our high school's technology department. I set this WordPress site up today. And I want to, oh great, I didn't actually, well, let's see. I'm going to click on all pages. We'll see what pages I created. Okay, so I created a bunch of pages here. All right, so we'll start with pages. We'll talk about them, and then we'll look at posts. And then if we have time, we'll look at creating a menu, because those kind of go all hand in hand. So the difference between a page and a post is a page will take up the full screen. So let's look at my page for applied web design. I can click. Now, by the way, when you're in pages, you can add new pages here. And not only that, but if you look at applied web design, you'll notice there's a little dash there, and it's under computer technology. This is to indicate that the parent page is computer technology, and this is a child of that page. So applied web design is one of the courses in our computer technology department. So that's why that's that dash there. And so let's go ahead and we're going to click edit to begin with, because I'm going to show you how I made it the child of computer technology. Before I do, though, I just want to focus on some things. When you're in an edit mode, you can click view the page. You can also make changes and preview them without saving them, and you can see what it will look like. It's a very key feature there, being able to preview your page or view your page. Let's go ahead and view it anyway. And when you're logged in from the page, you should be able to also edit it. Now, is there a lot here? No, not really. I didn't put much in. I'll expand this eventually. All right. Sorry about that. But that was the page. And you'll notice, actually, if we go back there, you will see that there's nothing really under that other than this leave a reply. And I have comments on for I don't know why I did that. All right, I'll explain why. The reason why I don't know why I did it is I really don't need comments on it because I'm just going to get hit with spam anyway, so I should probably pull that off. We'll deal with that on a later date. A couple things here. Okay, so when you're editing page, this is the title. As you may have noticed, it displayed the title on the page. This is the content for the page. If we wanted, I set it up so I can embed my YouTube videos on the site, which I haven't really taken advantage of that yet. I've done it on another site, but that's a plugin. You wouldn't normally see that. But you can add media. This is for adding images and videos. And there's other things we can do with it. This is our WYSIWYG editor. WYSIWYG stands for what you see is what you get. So you kind of see what it's going to look like, although technically speaking, when you're on the site, it does look a lot different. This is actually, in case you were wondering, this editor here is called the Tiny MCE, or as I like to call it, the Tiny Mice editor, because mice are tiny. And a couple things you see here, toolbar toggle. By default, you'll probably just see these options. And these are really pretty much all the options you need. Bold, italic, strike through, bullet or unordered list, ordered list or numbered list, block quote, horizontal line, and aligning your text, creating a link, removing a link, and then read more tag is great if you want to have a post where you see part of it, you tease the user to like view the whole thing, you would add that there. However, you may find that you want to adjust paragraphs, headings, pre-tag, in which case you want to make sure you toggle this, which is that little bar there. And now you can underline, which is a really bad idea because most hyperlinks are underlined, and don't confuse your reader. And then justify if you like your text to line up on the left and right. All these things are the editor, and you can take a look at them. Paste as text, so if you want to not have any formatting, you want to remove all formatting, you can do it that way. You can clear your formatting if you just copied and pasted somewhere else. I think overall WordPress is pretty good. This is actually my favorite WYSIWYG editor of a content management system because it does the least amount. It does only what's necessary. There are some other sites out there that will give you so many options that if you just give it in the hands of anyone, you're going to end up with all kinds of wackiness on the page. Strange looking fonts like Comic Sans. All right, moving along. Yes, I had to get a Comic Sans dig in. I haven't done it in a while. It's just about time. Special characters are here, so you need a special character with a symbol, an accent, whatever. You've got them right here. It's pretty nice. Okay. And then we can indent or dedent. This is good for lists, things like that, etc. And you got a question. There you go. Keyboard shortcuts. Nice. Also, you can look and see what it looks like as your HTML on here. There it is. And I'm really annoyed. This should be a paragraph. I'm not entirely sure why it's not. Okay. So let's see if I hit enter. Will I get the paragraph? Yeah, that is really weird. That should never be. There's got to be some setting here that's messed up. Most of my sites don't do that. But anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about this right-hand side. Okay, we're still on pages, right? Now a page is static, so it's only what you put in this content and any other widgets and things. We can see the status. We can find out if it's been published or not. We can make it public or private. So we can actually make it so only people who are logged in can see it, in which case we'd click edit, and we could protect it with a password. So we could actually give people a password if we wanted to, or you could just make it private, which just means you have to be logged on to see it. So if you don't have other people, this is great if you have a site where some stuff is public and some is more private. Maybe you have users create an account or something. It's a great one there. All right, I'm going to make it public so that anyone can see it. It tells me how many revisions. I can see previous versions of it. That's really nice. That's a new feature. Moving down. All right, page attributes. The parent. Remember I told you it's a child of the computer technology. That's because computer technology is my program and this is the class. Another thing you should be aware of is you have different templates. Now, in the future, I'll show you how to create your own templates. It's pretty cool. All right. But for now, you only have whatever templates are available in your theme. Your theme may give you multiple templates. Okay. In which case, you can choose which one. All right. Now, order could be if you have things automatically dropping pages in and you want to make sure, for example, this is the first child of computer technology. Remember I told you it's a child page? You could give it a number here. You could say 0 on this one. You could take another page, give it a number of 1, and the next page actually will go below or after that page. So it sets the order of appearance. However, normally I don't deal with that because I choose the order in the way I set up my menus. Finally, you've got layout. So sometimes your template allows you to do different kinds of layouts. And it looks like 2 columns left is the default layout. Let's change it to 1 column and see what happens. And I'm going to update. Making it 1 column means there's not going to be a sidebar. So let's see what it did. Yeah, a little bit too wide. I think that's a bad idea. So I'm going to change it. But at least you can change it, right? It's very straightforward. All right, so this goes down to layout. We'll just go back to default, which is what it was. Featured image is a part of both pages and posts. If you create it, this is really nice. You can upload files. Okay, so you can take one of these and upload it. As you can see, our header, I was playing around with different graphics to create the header. So that's one. You can upload new files. You can drag and drop them in. And then any file you have, you can set it as a featured image. So let's go ahead and just set one as a featured image. And then I'm going to take it off in just a moment. Featured image is kind of interesting. You have to click set featured image. And it's up to the theme as to what they're going to do with that featured image. Every theme has its own choice. It could be that when you set it, it becomes like a huge banner on top. So let's just see what happens. So I set it, and I'm going to update. Always update after you make any changes, or else it won't display that way. Let's go ahead and view it, and let's see what happened to that image. I don't see it here. Okay, so it didn't seem to do anything, but that was a feature of this theme. And so other themes might do something differently. Okay, let me show you a production site that just went live I was working on and show you what I did with their featured images. So here's a production site that I actually worked on. And one of the things we have is we have different content types. We have case studies, articles, white papers, and they have a blog. What you can do with the featured image is you can actually, anywhere in your theme you want to display it, like here, this particular article called Autism Speaks Case Study. Okay, this particular one here, what I did is I set it up so that if this picture you see behind there was the featured image, that's what we see on this tile. There's also a thing called a portfolio. This is done a little differently, but I believe the person who creates it can actually edit their image, the image you see behind it, that when I click, you see how it expands? So that image, I believe, is the featured image for that particular post type. So there's all kinds of interesting things you can do with the theme image. I just don't have time to show you them all. In fact, I'm running out of time, and so this is going to be the end of this particular tutorial. But hopefully you've got a good idea as to the pages, and we'll go into blogs in more detail on the next video installment.